Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show, celebrating 5 years of the podcast show with my co-host Yolanda M. Smith, who was here from the beginning, and she's also here at the end. Today, with 2026, we're going to recap some of those memorable guests that we had on the show and see where they're at now. You know, they share with us their beast mindset, and you know, it's been 5 years, and it's time to see where they're at now and what they're doing. And one lady in particular, you heard her music if you live in Moscow, Russia. You heard her music if you listen to the I Am Beast radio station. And let me tell you some of her things that she has: pianist, violinist, conductor, actress, digital artist, actress. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And she has received countless more awards to add to her resume since last appearing on the show. I'm going to get this name right. Let's welcome to the show the beautiful Ann Vida to the show. How you doing, baby girl?
Hi, Andre. Thanks for inviting again. And it's an honor to be on your show. And it's really been so harsh and so captivating the last years, the last months.
Yeah.
And I really have a lot to share with our beloved audience.
You know what? Yes, before we share all that, because I follow you. I know what you're doing, man. You are a beast, and not even in training. You definitely are a beast out there doing things. And every time I turn around, you're either, you know, writing music, composing, being invited to perform, getting all kind of awards. I mean, you're definitely doing it up. But for the viewers who did not get the opportunity to watch the first time that you appeared on the show, tell the viewers a little bit about you.
Okay, so shortly, I came from classical music field as I graduated from Moscow Conservatory, and I'm soloist at Philharmonic for a few years for now. And it's really interesting for me as a journey because I started to compose music at the age of 7. And then I also played piano and I sang, and it like grew more and more. And, you know, each year, each month, I found something new. I've been studying music production and then more contemporary styles of music, like rock, like pop music. And I started to write songs about 12 years ago, and I released my first album then. And for now, yes, you mentioned a lot of things, but you know, when I approach to something new related to my main field or just you know, neighborhood of this field, I'm trying to do this as best as I could, which means I approach to it professionally. And you mentioned my acting stuff, because I started to, you know, to do more in filmmaking things like music videos and concert appearance. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm working on my music videos and live performances, recordings myself, and a lot. And I learned a bunch of things professionally in courses and online and offline. And it was all professional. And one of my recent works, I'm very, Let's Like My Child. It's my short film, Confession,
Wow.
which literally yesterday got another official selection,
Wow.
besides a bunch of award-winning stuff in different countries in the
Congratulations.
US, in Europe, in Asia. Is a filmmaker, is director, is an actress. Yes, there was a film I worked myself totally, from the script to composing music to acting and to editing.
Really?
So the whole process.
How
Yes,
did you
and
hold on a minute, man? You just woo. Slow down. You in a Porsche. Hold on a minute. Let me put my seatbelt on. How do you keep so much going on and really be productive the way you are? I mean, here it is. You go from, violinist, pianist, conductor, and you don't miss a beat. Have there been struggles trying to get to these different achievements for you? Because it seems like when you look at you on social media, I mean, we're not going to put the struggles on social media. People don't want to see it. But to sit here and listen to you, all these achievements seems effortless. But was it effortless for you to jump over all these hurdles?
This social media is just a shelf, right? And it's just I don't know. It's a small part time. Like it's I can take photos each each hour I'm working on something, or look at this, I'm working on this, take a shot, publish. No, I do this. I know a bunch of people who likes to do this, and I know a bunch of people who likes to watch this. But I'm not the kind of a person. I'm just prefer to share something interesting and something unusual, and compare this to from one of my activities to another, to make this like as you said, slow down, and this behind scenes, these are a huge part of work, and it's really hard work, and sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes it's sleepless nights, and a bunch of stress, and I don't know what else. But social media again.
But you got
Yes, I'm trying to put just more positive things on my
right.
social media. Yes, but yes, it's a bunch of work behind this all.
How did you manage to get into the movie industry, short films, and actually directing and composing? I know you know the composing part, but how did that drop in your lap? I mean, you just all of a sudden just didn't leave the stage and performing in an opera or symphony and say, I'm going to go and make movies. How did all that come about for you?
Well, actually, making movies as a storytelling thing, and composing music, and especially write songs, it's kind of related. If you don't have a story to share, you can write a song, or you don't have feelings or something else, some thoughts, some philosophical ideas or social ideas. You can write a song. And when I'm working on music or I'm working on songs, I imagine a lot of things, and it actually like it's like a movie. Yeah, I do have some images. I do have some sequence of those images, and some kind of animation or movie.
Yeah.
And about getting into this industry, it's not something something too aside of my activities, because right now I'm working on a short film, which probably will be series 2, where I compose. I'm a consultant, and I take part in in casting, because it's about musicians, the film about musicians, and I do know a lot of stuff, and I advise a lot to producers of this film about my own story as a storyteller, right? As you know, I do write a lot of lyrics, poems, and one of these poems I wrote, and I was under a huge impression of some particular situation in my life last year. And I wrote this poem, and I thought, song will be great, but can I do more? And I did more.
Let's talk about the poem for a minute. So what was the poem really about? Was it about a struggle that you was dealing with last year, and you saw enough depth in the poem to say this can be put into a short film?
It just came out, probably. And yes, I did have some struggles, as we do a lot, whatever we are, in particular situations, or we are under stress or under pressure, and we need to do something for someone or a group of people, and they kind of related on you or awaiting from you something great, and sometimes it's a lot of pressure, and you meet some people who tries to make your life a little bit easier. It might be friends, it might be someone else, and I think it's a poem about embracing those love thing, like not love to somebody in particular, but to some kindness that goes from people, and when you spread this kindness back, it makes our world the better place. It's something, it might sound like a silly story, but it's a very deep and very personal story for me.
When did you decide that you wanted to what were some of the reasons that you decided that you wanted to take something that personal to you and put it on a bigger stage? Because a lot of people, especially in your situation, you have to be strategically positioned so your story doesn't get twisted in a way in which you don't want it to be twisted. So the question here is, what was so vital in this poem that you felt comfortable with in bringing it to the media, to the forefront in a form of a short film?
Yes, I get it. Now I'm kind of knew this would be not just looking great, or yes, I was prepared to do a lot of work while working on this film. It's just less than 4 minutes, but it was a bunch of work, really. I decided that this personal stuff might be really great to share, not just like silly stories, as I mentioned, but something above this all, some kind of spirit thing. And I really wanted to share this in a visual part too, not just like a song or a poem, in the visual part too. And it was, really a premiere of me as an actress in speech thing, because, I'm on stage since 4, and I did have a lot of thousands, decades of thousands, 100,000 appearances, and a lot of stuff and interviews, but this is kind of new, and I really want to share this child thing, and my personal story through these poems, and really spread the kindness.
How was it being received in Russia and abroad, and in Moscow and abroad? Because let's get real, you've been on the stage since the age of 4. People have a tendency, when you're good at a particular craft, I know, speaking from experience, if all I did was being an athlete, this is out of the norm, and you have to make sure that you do your homework when you enter into foreign territory. And the ideal is, how do you keep your followers who've been following you on the opera stage and so forth to take you seriously and go, well, now she's an actress? How are you being accepted now with the crossover?
It's kind of difficult thing, because, opinion is a weird thing when it appears to, someone talk, someone told, or some gossips or whatever. When even when it comes to professional community, it's still like this. And actually, about my abroad audience, they just kind of, wow, great, as always. And since I've got a bunch of selections and nominations and winnings on this film, it just had a point. It had a point, because those are professionals and juries, even even Oscar people in those juries too. And what about here? The people who knew I wrote songs in English.
Yeah,
I'm just not a Russian girl. I'm also an English girl. Yes, they loved this a lot. But it's okay, because I also wrote the music for this film, and also recorded on violin this music, and it's something that's the same people. That's the same girl. She just does a little bit more like this.
Were you nervous? Because this is something that you hadn't done before. I mean, and my hat's off to you. It's being accepted beautifully, naturally, with all the nominations that you've gotten. So, 2-part question here. What makes this different that it wind up getting so much clarity and notoriety? What made this particular short film an attention grabber?
Yeah, about being nervous. I don't know. I'm nervous when it comes to business talk. To organize some stuff with people, because different people, different things, educational, social experience, and sometimes I'm struggle with finding the common language with some people. It's a difficult story, but when I'm working, I'm not really nervous, because I'm focused on my stuff, and I'm thinking about how to bring this stuff to life, how to give birth to this thing, whatever it is. I'm preparing for the concert, or working on song or a new composition, or it's film stuff. But teaching, yes, teaching is something that lays in human being,
Right.
because right before we had or writing stuff, we had letters, symbols, right, and we had speech, and teaching was the only way. I mean, verbal teaching was the only way to bring those culture inheritance, non-material inheritance, to the next generation.
Okay.
And when we artists do some things, a bunch of artists do like mostly commercial thing,
Right.
or just they just had emotion. Then yes, I should put this into something, and people should watch this. That's my mission. Yes, and you mentioned this very right, because everything I do, I'm trying to bring those inner teaching things to the audience, and
Now,
not
let me ask
just like through expression of my soul or whatever, but like spread kindness, to spread good, to make people do more good deeds. Yes, and actually, I did have one of my songs called "Seeds of Goodness." It's about to bring your inner kindness again, but it was the song. But last year, as I mentioned, I released the film, and it's like another level of teaching in a good way.
I like the Seed of Goodness. That's a beautiful song. It's actually one of my favorites.
Thanks.
To be honest, I love it.
Thank you.
Beautifully composed, beautifully written. Usually, when I'm just even meditating, the first thing I do is I just listen to the Seed of Goodness. You mentioned something that I think is almost. Let me rephrase this. You mentioned trying to break the barrier of the language throughout the world so they can resonate with what you're trying to say, and that's used the Seed of Goodness as an example. How are you doing that? How difficult is it to link and bridge those gaps when it comes to the language barrier and people really trying to understand where you're coming from, and more importantly, to really see the vision of what you of what you're trying to create? No, not what you're trying to create, but what you are creating.
Okay, that's the point. That's the initial point of why I started and why I do a lot of stuff as a songwriter in English, because this might sound silly or funny, but I started learning English like a violin at 4. And it was particular periods. It was most learning or less learning,
Right.
but mostly I learned. I educated myself in this stuff, and since I'm not in English, neighborhood, my accent is a little bit weird. I don't know. Some people say it's like European part of French type of English accent.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm trying to get into American type of accents. It varies. All right. Yes, I do really like English as a language of symbols. In Russian, we should, sometimes clarify and to add particular parts to the word that's saying we are doing this particular thing, or we are thinking of particular thing or movement.
Mm-hmm.
And in English, it's just like a statement, and it's a metaphor, and it might be symbol. And that's why I love English, because I can put, a sentence or just a few words, and this might means a lot. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to, to put more positive energy into those words or sentence, because I know that words might hurt, really. Yeah, like a weapon. And this is probably too obvious when you just said about my song Seeds of Goodness, because each word counts for me, just like I like the sound of words. I do like the sound of particular combinations of words and repetitions of those combinations, but I more like the meaning thing and what I put into this.
Let me ask you a question. How much inspiration do you get from artists and creators outside of your country? Because we know in other countries, when you hear USA, it's like a major award. It's how do you view the different areas that you have to take advice from? Like if you deal with America, you deal with Germany, all the different areas. How do you navigate that, and which one do you take a lot more response from?
Okay, I get it. When I was a little younger, when I didn't do a lot of in songwriting, or I just started to do this. One of my most inspirations were British rock groups like Queen.
Yeah,
and my parents really liked Queen, and we had a bunch of cassettes. Yeah, that's me. That's violin. That's classical music girl. Yeah, show must go on, like this. Yes, but what's funny? I did school stuff like a classical musician, but I also, as I mentioned, I composed a lot since about 7 years old. And I then in 2 or 3 years, I've got an amazing American synthesizer called Insonic, and it was like a new world to me, because this was different sounds, different samples, and I had an ability to make one track and then put another track and one track again and one more things, and to use those square shaped things to record these tracks. And I did include into my solo concerts those synthesizer stuff, like improvisations or something like this. Yes, because it was like my nature. Yes, I'm doing this and I love this genuinely.
right.
But I'm something more too. And when I grew up, yes, I navigated those things, and I really loved Queen and those rock stuff. But I also found something like The Doors. And I really dig into this, and I really love the poetry of Jim Morrison. And I actually did some reports during my conservatory years at my philosophical class about his poetry, and it was like a furor in my class because I was passionate about this, and it might be a little bit, affected to my further stuff as a songwriter, as a composer too. And when it comes to the US, yes, that's a bunch of artists I've got an inspiration from. I might not accept some stylistical things or, some appearance thing because it's very personal for me. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're trying to, especially major stars, they're trying to approach to the larger audience. But I still, for example, I see Stephanie in Lady Gaga or other artists, and one of my friends, it was like 7 or 8 or even 9 years ago, he said, you're doing stuff that kindly related to artists like Kate Bush.
Really?
I don't know who's Kate Bush. We just had Beatles, Queen, were just some groups, and who's this? I started to navigate, and really Kate Bush and a few more artists, like an art rock, art pop. So this is still pop music. This is still might be rock music, but it's more personal. It's more niche audience, and it's more highly related to something more inner than those major pop stars or rock stars things.
Now, do you have aspirations to perform on bigger platforms in the U.S., or you're content with where you're at in Moscow?
Yes, I really would like to perform a gig at a huge stage.
Right.
Because I watched those concerts. I watched a lot of Adele concerts. I watched Gaga's concerts, and I'm kind of I'm trying to put this kind of energy they put into this multi-thousand audience to my classical concerts too, as a violinist and as a conductor, because I know that people are going to public events to not just to entertain themselves.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's so difficult? Because you are an international star in Moscow. Let's call it what it is. You would think that somebody in the United States would have gravitated to you to say, you know what, let's bring your talents here, because we have symphonies, we have orchestras, we have, musical events here. Why do you think that this isn't happening right now? Because, like I said, you're doing things that most pianists, most violinists, most composers, most filmmakers, you're everything rolled up into one. So what do you think the problem is?
Well, I would call this a problem because, each human's being, life path is unique.
Okay.
Probably, this is much better when I'm doing this right now, like this. I'm not kind of, I'm not upset with something didn't happen, because, 1,000 attempts, makes one thing success. It's probably, just around the corner.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably just around the corner. Somebody's going to listen to this and be like, okay, let's do our, like you did. Let's do our research on who this young lady actually is. Before we wrap up, you've gotten all kind of awards in the last couple of since your last appearance on here. Which award has
Yes,
been
I
the
do.
most? Yeah, congratulations. Which awards have been the most impactful for you and why?
I think it's obviously it's participation in Grammy nominated album by Antonio Vergara, my big friends, and we were working on a few projects before this album, and I was really glad to share, with not just with the international audience this success, but with our Russian people too, because I did have a few events fully dedicated to my collaboration with Antonio and other musicians from Recording Academy and international roster. And it was really great to share this music with people who didn't listen to this before, and
Right.
they are just enjoying this because I performed live and I put some recordings. And it's really funny or silly or unexpectedly,
Yeah.
um, because I live here. Yes, and it was like, wow, you did what? You did what? And it was like a shock for someone, but for me, it was like,
A walk
you
in the park.
know, we just had a work. We just had fun working on
Yeah.
this project, like I do right now, because I'm working on a bunch of projects with Grammy people too.
Mhm.
Last year and right now. And for me, it's not just a success. For me, it's more the thing. Like I can do more stuff. I can do more collabs, and bring those work to larger audience. And now continuing to spread those kind through music or through which visual media stuff. And it just I'm so glad to do this, but it's not just success is okay, it's fine, it may be, it might not be,
Right. Right.
but the thing is this success leads to more valuable stuff.
Wow. Wow. Before we wrap up, let me say congratulations to all the major awards that you got. I wish you nothing but continuous success, which I know you're going to get anyway. What's next for you? You got so many things going on. What's next for you?
Okay. As I mentioned, I am working on some collabs right now, and one of songs, I believe it's coming out soon this month, and also this month on my birthday, March 20, will be released my own album of 15 songs written in a few recent years, called Songs of a Naked Troubadour. Naked is a old English word, means naked. It's a huge philosophical thing.
Right.
I hope you will enjoy this album.
Oh, I
And
plan.
right this month, I do have a few very, very difficult classical programs too in different cities.
Right.
And I'm kind of practicing each day, and it's really captivating to do all this stuff.
Okay. So when are you coming to the USA?
When it's a great question. We thought the COVID stuff was the hardest thing we had.
Right.
Like in years, in decades. but I think for now it's getting more difficult. I believe good times are around the corner. Mm-hmm. We just have to be more patient, and I really can't wait to share my stuff, my music, in live performances in the US.
Oh yeah, that would definitely happen. How can the viewers reach out to you, support you, and listen to your music?
Thank you very much, Andre.
How can they reach out to you? Do you have an email address or something like that the viewers can listen to your music or contact you?
Yes, I do have my website where you can find my music, my visual artist stuff, read about myself, and navigate my news, my collabs, a lot of things. It's Vedi.org. Or you can find me on social media, on major music platforms too.
Thank you so much. You guys, make sure you subscribe, share, like, follow. Click that button. All it takes is one click of a button to make a difference in somebody else's life and maybe even change yours. Baby girl, thank you so much for coming on the show. Definitely want you to come back and keep spreading that love. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of Andre The Beast Crayton Show.